everyone, this is Dr. Marco. Welcome to your health tip this week. Today we're going to be talking about how this interesting liquid can change your intestine and actually have some effect on your brain. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about what I think is the most important product that's ever been developed. It's called Restore. And one of the big things that it does is help to seal your intestinal lining. So what does that mean? I'll try to give you an idea of how doing that can actually help your brain. We've had a number of people taking this in the office, and we've had maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people who said that after they started taking it, they had more mental clarity. And people say, well, I'm drinking this, it's affecting my intestine, why is it affecting my brain? So I'll try to explain why that can happen. So here's your brain up here, and this is supposed to represent your intestines. So I'm going to zoom in on a little part of it. So think of your intestine like a tube. So these are the cells lining the wall of your intestine. These little finger-like things, or villi, and there's microvilli. Those are the things that help absorb your food. So this is like a tube, so I want you to picture this like a curve like this, right? I just taken like the corner section of it, but it's curved like this, so that's the tube section. So we're just looking at the wall in cross-section. So the lining of your intestine is just basically one cell thick. And it has to be very, very selective about what gets in past them into your blood to go into your body. So what you want is waste products to stay in the tube, and you want what your body needs to go through these cells to get onto the other side into your blood. Now, because this one cell layer thick is really, really important, your body has most of your immune system is just on the other side of that. So it's filled with all these white blood cells and things that are ready for attacking any kind of virus or bacteria or any kind of bad thing that might happen across here. So your body can attack it so it doesn't really get into your body and affect your system. So what's happening is there's a number of things that are causing the cells to be loose. So normally, this is one cell here, here's another cell, and here's another cell. These little things here, they're called tight junctions, and they keep the cells stuck to each other. So it's kind of like a little crazy glue between each of the cells. So it can be very selective. So if I have like a big long protein molecule here like this, it'll get digested into little parts of protein called peptides, and then those will start to go into the cells, and the cell will decide, well, I just want a few amino acids from that to go into my blood. But what happens is these tight junctions, they can be loosened by a protein called zonulin. And what zonulin does is just makes the spot welds get loose, and the cells actually start to separate a little bit, causing a little bit of space between each one. So with that little bit of space, we've got a big problem, because what happens is bigger pieces of proteins that should be digested down or selectively not pass into your blood actually pass by these cells, and they'll either be attacked by these immune cells, or they'll get into the circulation and cause other kind of reactions. So usually they cause a general inflammation here, and they'll cause an immune reaction inside your body. So that can be very problematic. So what causes these loosening? There's a lot of things, and I'll get into it in another video, but one of the 2 main things, the most devastating one is the herbicide that they're spraying on basically all the crops now. It's called Roundup, and the active ingredient is called glyphosate, which is a special kind of binding agent that causes death to certain, it's almost like an antibiotic for the bacteria that would feed plants and stuff like that. So it kills them off, the plants don't reproduce, the weeds don't, they're not able to thrive. But that thing has a bad effect, and it causes this leakiness, and it causes these bad food particles and things that shouldn't get into your blood, because you can have bacteria and viruses and toxins and other things that should stay in the poop tube, but they're actually passing into your blood. So if that's happening on a consistent basis, because basically most of us are exposed to this glyphosate, even if you're eating like organic food, organic food should not be sprayed with glyphosate, but glyphosate is actually getting into our rain, so it's kind of falling on everything anyway. So we're all being exposed to it. So we all have this leaky gut to some degree. Some people have it way worse than others. If you've had like antibiotics and other things, you might have destroyed the whole bacteria inside and caused a lot of problems. So there's a lot of different things and drugs and food products that can cause this leakiness, and I'll get into that in another video. So the 2 main ones would be this glyphosate, and the other one would be one of the proteins in gluten, a gliadin protein. So those can be a really big factor in causing this leakiness. So here's the concept. If that stuff is getting into our blood and it's causing sort of like kind of like a the pollution, if you want to call it, of things into our blood that shouldn't be in there. This leakiness with the zonulin, that zonulin will actually come up and it will actually cause leakiness in the blood-brain barrier as well. So our brain really needs to be protected from toxins, and the blood vessels in the brain have tight junctions just like the ones in our stomach. But when zonulin gets up there, it causes them to get leaky too. So we can actually have stuff that should not be in our blood getting up into our brain and causing inflammation in our brain as well, and that could cause just a general decrease in brain function. So if you take the Restore product, the actual research shows that the Restore, within a little bit of time after you've drank it, it actually reseals the tight junctions, making them almost stronger than they were before you had the insult from the glyphosate or the gluten or whatever it is. So if we're causing the spot walls to work again, so we're shoring up the walls of the intestine, you're not getting all that sort of bad inflammation and bad sort of reaction and products getting into the blood that won't be affecting the brain. So when the blood is getting clear, you're getting better perfusion into the brain, the blood is more clean, and you're getting more brain activity and less sort of decreased activity because of all the stuff getting into the blood. So anytime you have a leaky gut, you also have a leaky brain. So with the Restore, it actually has this sort of effect on causing the membranes to be tighter everywhere in your body that they need to be tight. So the gut layer, the blood-brain barrier, the kidneys and the ureters, those need to be tight too. So there's a lot of different areas in the body that need tight, even in the nasal passages. So they've even made a nasal spray with this, so you can actually shore up that too. So a lot of times people can improve their sinus function with the nasal spray of Restore, because it's restoring the healthy bacteria communication and it's restoring the tight junctions, and that can cause a big impact on helping people with their sinuses and allergies and those kind of things. So that's sort of like your brief review on how Restore, affecting the health of the intestine, can actually improve brain function. So you'll have brighter brain activity when you have better gut activity and better gut integrity. So that's what Restore does, and does a lot of other things too. So obviously it's going to be helping the immune system because it's not being overburdened as well. So there's a lot of downstream benefits from having this. So once again, that's why I think this is a pretty much essential product that everybody should be on. And not everybody's going to notice huge differences when they take it. I don't really notice a lot of big stuff, but I've never really had a lot of, insult to my intestinal tract as far as I know from my life. But I just understand the importance of it, so I take it for that reason, and I think everyone should too. So that's your health tip for this week. If that was important or helpful for you, please share it, and we'll see you next week. Bye.